Well, I am here today with my buddy John Turman. You know him well. We actually just finished lunch. I made lunch for the two of us. We're both probably blowing onion breath on one another. But even before that, we really kind of played. So here's what we're going to look at today. I'm going to give John the big reveal. We're going to see if he approves or disapproves of my partition between the parlor and the kitchen. I personally really love it. Yeah,
fabulous.
I think it is anyway. We redecorated my mantle. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about just a few other kinds of considerations related to hanging some artwork and just a kind of a hodgepodge of things. So what do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so let's just rewind a little bit. Let's remind people some of the things that I wanted to do to make this renovated. It was built in 1920, make it look, even though it's been recently renovated, a little bit more like a vintage home.
Exactly.
Of that vintage. And so there were a number of different things that in the past you and I discussed to do just that. Okay? So I'm going to let you describe some of the things that we did to the entryways, to the door or whatever, and how you kind of would describe how it kind of brought it back into the century in which it was built.
Okay. So, of course, Linda had this great idea to do this partition, but what was missing around that opening was molding, which, of course, the house would have had at some point. And so she's added that as well as the partition. And it truly took it back to 1920 something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's just amazing what it did to it. And you did it in two different places, which I think is great. There's another door going into the hallway that also had the molding added to it. And it truly, truly makes it look like a period house again, even though it was done in what, 2021?
Yeah.
But it has a great feel.
Almost 100, exactly 100 years later.
It really does.
Almost 100 years later.
And then, of course, one of the things that even before the partition went in, just getting the door frame framed, I said that frame twice, but anyway, getting the door frame back up started making the rooms come back to individual spaces.
Absolutely.
This house actually had been a little overexposed, I think.
I agree.
And we had all talked about how it was too big of a room, and it was hard to create intimate spaces in it. So, but truly, just putting molding around the door started creating a living room again, and then a kitchen dining area. And then you're going to see as you go on into there how it really made a dining room by having this partition. So
and transforms some
and
things.
just transforms it right.
So I think this is, in terms of the process of this, first of all, we lived here for a while before
Which is always a good idea.
Which is always a good idea before we intuited that this big open space, it definitely has its attributes, and there were things that we liked about it, but there were things that I also didn't like about it. But in terms of layering, I first kind of came up with this wacko idea to put in this removable partition here. And then thanks to my friend out in California who literally came up with a design for me, which we followed to the T. To the T. So I kind of had this idea, and I really knew that the jewelry on it would be beautiful. My contractor helped me with that.
And they are gorgeous.
And I do think they're gorgeous. So this one can come up, and that one can come down. And there's also, when you get to this side, you'll see they're reversed on the other side. And this panel can be completely removed. So if I truly want to open this up from one space to another, well, then I can do that. But it divided it into two rooms. And very much, and this is something I really wanted you guys to get a feeling of, how it feels when we're really living here. So I have just eaten lunch. All of my dishes are still out. Nothing is perfect. And that's intentional because I want you guys to kind of feel how it is to
live here, right?
Yeah, to really be in this space.
Whenever you want to, not doesn't have to be now. Snap me so they get an instant view of what it's like from over there.
Okay, better yet, why don't I snap you to the past and you can put up what it looked like before any of this was here. 1, 2, 3. my snapper is broken. My snapper is
It's
broken.
cold.
It's cold. It's cold. Okay, so when I was talking about layering, this is what I mean. So I kind of came up with this concept, but John was the one who was able to envision it, which is not my strong suit. I can do that outside. I can't do it inside. And said, but what you need is molding around here, because prior to this, it was just a dead modern wall.
It was just drywall. So.
Stoppage, yeah. And by adding this, it immediately framed it.
Well, and it connected your new piece to the house, which wouldn't have happened otherwise. It would have been this very stark contemporary wall with this traditional panel
Right.
just sitting in it.
Just sitting
well, now
in it.
it looks, they go together now.
Yeah,
they're married. So.
Right, but it's the layering of
And it
that.
is
It's the
layering.
layering of the ideas. And the other thing that John and I, once John told me about the idea that we were adamant about, is that, as I've mentioned before, is that I wanted all of the molding to match the existing molding.
It's like it was there the whole time.
Yeah,
No, it really
it
is.
looks
No.
like it was here. So it matches all of the molding.
The scale's
that-
perfect
Yeah,
for the
that
house,
has
yeah.
been here for centuries, and they did just an absolutely brilliant job. I
Really
think.
did.
They really-
I think on it. And then the other thing they did, just as a reminder, is they added molding to the interior and the exterior of the front door. Again, I've got some mess there that's getting ready to go outside, but this is real world. And then I'm still waiting for my second storm door to be built outside, and there's been a glass delay. You're probably experiencing that with some of your
I haven't yet.
clients.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's just taking longer to get. It
I
just
didn't
takes
know
a
that.
little bit longer to get glass. So that will be the final. That will be the
Okay.
final thing of this most recent project. That and well, let's just take a break here, and when we come back, I'll tell you what the and is. So one of the things that my contractors helped me with was getting this little, what do you call that? A furnace? I don't know. There's
Well, it's a fire grate.
a fire
I think. I don't know
grate,
what
whatever.
the real term is,
But this was original to the house, or maybe not the insert
it
was
was.
original, but the feature was original to the house, but it was not operational. And so that was another thing my contractor did.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to take it away, get it operational so it didn't set off the CO2 alarm, and bring it back. And now a number of these changes have, I think, upped the coziness quotient
Absolutely.
of the cottage 100%. Would you agree?
I totally agree. No, this room really does have as you said, a cottage cozy feel, and it has that, but you still have a connection to this other space. So you haven't totally severed that. I mean, it's still there, but visually and just even physically. I mean, this is a now small sitting room. It's just
Cozy
great,
room.
and you've rearranged the furniture, which I love, which you'll do again. We know. Do it different ways, but for winter, this is really great to face the fireplace, 2 comfortable chairs, and of course, fire adds
It just
major coziness.
it adds
to it,
a cozy element. So now we've got these 2 what I call dad chairs.
Right.
We've got 2 dad chairs, so I can be right here by my fireplace. But now it's created this nook. It's created this wonderful nook, so I feel very contained here. And then, John, you want to show around the corner what was here just a minute ago? My cozy blanket. My cozy blanket. So this is the ultimate in coziness. This
Right.
is real world living.
You must plug it in.
Yeah, it's already plugged in.
get warm.
And so
Does it feel like you have to yell to the kitchen now as opposed to before you could just talk?
well, I don't know. I haven't thought that through.
Feels like it's further away.
Well, you don't have to yell in the kitchen, but
But my friend Deborah was here, and she immediately came in and sat down, and she goes, "Oh!" And she
did.
and she put this on her lap and plugged it in, and so this is where I did my meditation this morning. So I had my little plug-in cozy.
well, and one of your
throw.
favorite features of this house was the fireplace in the back.
Yes.
So now to have a second one, what a gift.
It is just eminently charming, and it's especially fun because now I've got the best of 2 worlds. I've got the coziness of a fireplace and everything, but I've got the hope of spring.
Yes, you do.
Right here, and it's the little things, John, isn't
Well,
it?
and this is kind of a gray, wintry day in Oklahoma, which we don't have a lot of. And this room is just perfect for this because there's great lights and warmth and coziness.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cozy. So this is what we did, and then, as always, one thing leads to another, And for Christmas, I got 2 pieces of art from Jamie. He brought them back. They were prints, and he brought them back from India, and I just got them back from the framers, and I was playing with them. And really the reason I had John come over, in addition to showing him the new partition, was to help me with placement of the beautiful pieces of art that Jamie got me. Now, they were not framed when he brought them back, and I had them framed at Pirates Alley here in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma City. And I was surprised at what I ended up selecting with that blue matting, that blue silk
They
matting.
really set them off. Yeah.
But it's the perfect blue that matches the Jacobson painting, and I just love it. Now, the funny thing was, when I brought them in and when I had opened them up in the chaos that is Christmas package opening, I just saw this one. And when I went to the framers, I saw another piece there, and I said, "Ooh, where did that come from?" And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, where did that come from?" She said, "You brought it in." And I said, "No, I didn't." She said, "Yes, you did." And they were stuck to one another.
That's a great story.
They were stuck to one another, and I didn't realize. And then there were 2. And then there were 2. And this isn't exactly hung where it will be.
No, it needs to be raised up.
Yeah, it needs to be raised up a little bit, but you get the idea that there's 2 of
There are
them. So then back to the mantle. So then we just played with the mantle. Now I have.
So then, was there another piece of blue and white?
Oh yeah, I've got more blue. I've got more blue and white.
Or it could be a piece of brass too.
So then I don't know that I have anything.
So what about more brass?
Taller, and I have.
Or just another object. It doesn't have to be.
Okay, I've got that. And of course, I'll be re-erecting this at one time.
Well, of course not.
That's
how that's gonna work.
Let me see what else I've got in here.
I think that's what everybody wants to see, really.
I'm gonna just hold this brass up there. I still think brass is a good thing.
No, I have it somewhere. I've got a small here.
More blue and white, or I mean that's not the right
Here.
thing.
I've got a small
But
one.
there's the small one.
I don't want it too cluttered. Now, the other thing I can do is,
Do you know?
let me see. It's as if we're trying to coordinate world peace. It's like the hay.
Hey, passion
I
is
have this
passion.
larger one of these.
See, but I don't think I'd like that. Oh, you mean to go on? Yes, I would like that. Put it on
Okay.
the left one though.
Oh, so they're not the same?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
I like that those are 2 different heights. Yeah.
okay,
Is that big?
Or
Are
do
they 3 different sizes?
yes. I just got
Are they 2 different sizes?
this one at the thrift store in Denver this week.
No, I like the shorter one.
You like more of a differential?
Yeah, they seem similar.
Okay. Ironically, what I had before I got. But the nice thing is if I ever want to use them in a symmetrical way, from a distance, you can't tell that these are 2 different
Right.
sizes.
What's your candle shorter?
Well, it's a.
I know. So, I do like the brass, but that's still a little too big for them. It should be shorter.
Okay, so what about, okay, I've got this.
I like that. That's a better size.
You like that? Then that makes me think it almost needs another little touch of brass over here. Oh,
The yeah.
It's the little things.
well, sadly, it is the little things. Looks good. Okay, come here and tell me if you like
So then,
that.
do you have a gilded ankle? A gilded? Oh yeah, that's what we need.
A guild, there we
Can you
go.
believe it?
Gilded
Oh, do you have a
pipe.
gilded ankle? Well, yes, I do.
Okay, now
Yes, I do.
doesn't that do it?
Actually, I think
Can we
it
do
is
a second?
another baby gilded ankle. Oh my God, we are so young. Now, does this still need to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it does.
you know, because like it needs to move right now because let's move it because it needs to be ordered.
But there needs to be something on the end over there.
Okay.
I don't know, that's pretty good though, isn't it? But I like it layered. Just a little bit.
It looks good.
Really liked the layering,
Oh,
and he liked the way the blue silk pulled out the colors of the.
Well, that's what I didn't like before you had.
Except for this needs to be an inch over.
But you had it centered. I didn't think it should be centered. And you had blue going in 3 places, so yeah, it does show up that sticks out a bit.
Of course, you have no idea how long it took me to get that straight. Now, does it matter that one's fake and one's real?
No. I just didn't like to stick it on the top.
Now, here's another question for us.
Get out of the way.
You like the taller one there and the shorter one there and not the reverse?
I'm going to say yes, but try it because it may be fine to do it the other way. So, when I was doing retail work, we worked in pyramids and things, and so that's what you just created was more of a pyramid. But we created a bigger pyramid. They're like layering the pyramids now. There's 3 pyramids.
Now, I have to say, this is my okay, Stuart, are you capturing? This is my instinct.
Okay.
Would be to do this.
See, and mine was to be kind of off from it. So.
But I think, looking at both of it now, that I do like that. And I think I like it because this then matches this.
Okay.
And it makes it seem more textured than it did.
Well, it's a little more casual looking.
And it's a little more casual.
And it just happened.
The other way kind of felt like two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two.
Not say
matchy,
separate, but two like
yeah.
parts of the
Yeah.
same thing, maybe. Where this is more one thing, yeah.
And I do love the airiness of this.
Yes, no, that definitely is good there. I like that. Is this new?
I now have a fire in here.
That's great. So what did you have to do to do that?
Pretty soon, it won't be pine cone appropriate.
No, I think I like it's the 2. You see that?
Well, we're getting close to.
Actually, I like the 3.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, because I like
Alright.
things in 3s.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Oh, look, Deborah's coming. And this isn't rocket science, you guys, but it's fun.
Well, we had fun with it.
We had fun with
Yeah,
it.
we really
It's
did.
joyful. It is using what you already have. It will
fun
be.
watching it.
Yeah, it will be.
Well, and it was an experiment happened because you first had both of those prints up there.
Yeah.
And it was a little overwhelming for the Jacobson, I think. But one, as you said, sets it off really nicely. And we love this layering idea. In fact, Jamie liked the layering idea.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that continued. But we played with all the other pieces and moved them around and tried to make
Yeah.
things a little chaotic or casual.
Yeah.
Or
A little.
we tried formal at one point. It was a little too much balance.
Yeah, a
So
little less symmetrical. A few little nods to the season.
we shopped Linda's house, which was fun.
Yeah, no, that's always fun. In fact, look,
Right.
if you look over on my sideboard, you can see a couple of the bowls we kind of played
Right.
with. Those need to be put back. We had an extra pine cone that came to live over here, but then it went away.
It did.
And I think it is not to be undervalued what this kind of, because for me and for you and for most of you out there, this is play. This is how I like to play.
It's a great way to play.
It is a great way to play, and it costs nothing on a cold, dreary afternoon.
Right. And it's not permanent. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know, it's okay to change it and to just enjoy it and then do something else
Right.
later. So
And there's no right or wrong answer. There may
there's
be
not.
a right answer for you, and this was, we finally came up with this answer together, but it's a completely subjective thing. But Jamie, as soon as I put them up here, just setting them there temporarily, he immediately said, "Oh, I love the informality of it just being layered against
Just
that."
sitting, right.
And I think it enhances and doesn't detract from
does
the
not.
painting itself. So this was really just a fun thing. It was just a fun thing to do. And I thank you for your help.
Well, you're welcome.
I
It was
thank
fun
you for
to
the
do
help in doing it.
Yep.
And I also love the way that there's these nods here of the brass to this brass mesh. And this mesh is actually the second version You know, when you don't have a sample, it's kind of hard to tell. So we had a sample of a brass mesh originally that was way too fine. It almost looked like a screen door.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
it's real.
And then Britt and I both said, oh, that's not right. And so then we came up with this. This has considerably more substance to it. Yes, indeed. I can already see a wreath hanging on it
Right.
at Christmas time with a little S hook.
Yes.
So that's nice. It has perfect permeable impermeability. I like the
I like
way
that too.
it kind of, you know, it kind of goes both ways. There's an intimation of what's on the other side, but you can't 100% see it. One other thing that, again, was an intuitive thing, when we put this up originally, this was just like the flat side of a French door.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was just completely flat. And I said, you know, that looks unfinished to me then. It looks like the other door is missing. I said, what can we do to finish this out? Well, we couldn't put another piece of molding because of clearance. There were different things. And then he suggested routing it
I was
this
just saying,
way.
it looks like it was routed, yeah.
Yeah, and he routed it this way. And
They're
I
good at
think,
what they do.
No, that's really good.
yeah, they're
Very
so
nice.
good.
Very nice details.
Yes, and we'll put up their contact information.
job,
They
let
just
alone, yeah.
they just really
Because
did.
I think that is one of the successes of this, is it doesn't look like it's a partial thing.
That's true.
And your point about that looking like a door originally, it would have looked like, well, there's a missing door.
Right.
But that's not at all what this did. So,
No, and it's not what I really wanted.
and it's not what you wanted, right.
Because there's not any, and you might say, well, Linda, why did you do it so that it can come out completely? Because it really couldn't swing without being an impediment on
No,
one
right.
side or the other.
It would have been.
And honestly, I can't imagine ever
I was just
taking it
going to
out.
say that. I don't think you'll ever take it out.
I
It could have
know.
been nailed in.
And more than the flexibility, the ability to take it in and out makes these that much more beautiful.
Right,
so
absolutely.
they have a purpose.
So they have a purpose.
But they're beautiful jewelry, and they're perfectly. They have the gravitas to match the door and everything.
No, it's very successful. Good job.
Yeah, I just. So I wasn't. I remember saying, John, is this a crazy idea?
And I never said it was a crazy idea. Never. I always thought it was good.
Well, I always question myself.
I know,
You know, is that
and you
a
wonder,
crazy
but,
idea
yeah.
or whatever? But then again, a shout out to California
Right.
for coming up with this brilliant suggestion, because I had originally thought of just, I don't know, glass or,
Well,
you know.
I think it would have, without some of that input, it might have looked more like a door. And I don't
agree.
think that was the right solution, really.
No.
And to
And-
your point, you couldn't have opened them. I mean, this is just perfect.
Yeah, and subsequently, you and I have talked about how, now it looks familiar to us because we have seen the same treatment in restaurants
Yes.
and things.
Yeah.
And actually, when she sent me this design, it had mostly been used in restaurants.
Yeah. And you
So,
have seen it that way.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, when we come back, we're going to see the new table
Yay.
on the other side. We're going to get an idea of what my kitchen looks like when it's messy post lunch, and how cozy I think it feels on the other side. This is like a Downton Abbey kind of thing. On the other side of the partition.
Right.
Well, I think that this new arrangement is so much more cozy, so much more homey, so much more comfortable. So just a little bit of history. You may remember that I wanted to replace the oval table, the blonde wood oval table that was in here before. It is now my desk. And then I replaced this with a round table in kind of a, what color would you call that gray? A distressed
That's kind of a distressed gray, right?
or
It's
whatever.
a
And
washed gray.
Washed gray.
Yeah.
And happily, I say happily because it had a happy ending, they sent it in the wrong size. I had ordered a 54-inch and they sent it in, was it a 48?
It was a 48,
A 48,
but, yeah.
and I had ordered it in a 54. So John and I talked about the size of it, and then as we were talking, I can't remember, it was you or me, that said, oh, this also comes in black.
In black.
And we then could see what it looked like in that former gray color, and I thought, ooh, wouldn't it be really pretty?
Much more dramatic in black.
Much more dramatic. It enhances the artwork, or the artwork enhances it so much better. It feels more grounded in this corner. It feels like it has more visual weight. It probably will be a little bit more forgiving. And I don't know. I just think
Well, and it goes with your Chippendale chairs,
Yes.
which you already had, which was amazing.
Right, right.
I had never even made that relationship, and they were right in the other room. But you've got
Now,
two extra dining chairs already here.
two already here,
Yeah.
and I think I could see it when I would stand over there cooking, and I would look, and what made me think, wouldn't it be nice if this table was black, because I could see the black chairs in there, and I look at it from a garden design standpoint, the repetition
Yes.
of a certain something across the space, and I thought this dark color needed to be
really
repeated
does.
here, and then
And instead of getting a black door, you got a black table. Which
I got a black table, and then I'm going to go out of frame for a minute so that we can turn on the light and you guys can see it a little bit better. The nice thing is now the dad chair that was here went into the parlor, but Hubs is okay with that because you are now sitting
in the new dad chair.
in the new dad chair that was actually a mom chair, but now we have two mom chairs in here. We have two dad. Are you following along?
We got you.
And we have two dad chairs in there, and then this black Chippendale chair then can just easily move
Right.
over here, and I can seat 6 very, very easily. And then most of the time, I'm not setting a table for 6, so when it's just us, I moved a lamp over here, which really makes this feel
It really did.
cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the table's not too big at all because we talked about whether the size was good or bad, but 54 really is the right size.
Yeah.
And it fits on the banquette better, makes it work better, and then it doesn't impede in the room. In fact, the partition makes this room feel larger, which is really
Totally
interesting.
agree.
That's so ironic because every person that's been in here since we've had this partition up, without any kind of solicitation on my part, has said it makes everything look bigger.
It's undeniable.
And it really does. I don't know what happened, but it does.
And it's so it's just so
really is.
cozy. So
But yet we're still connected to that front room. I mean, it's not like you're
right.
closing a door, between them. So I think it's the best of all of the situations. So.
Yeah, I
It really
just,
does
and
make-
it's just so comfortable. I mean, I can sit here and work. Yesterday, Jamie and I, we were watching some TV. And by the way, if you guys haven't watched it, John, I think you said you had already seen it before, but you're going to watch it again.
The Carlisle thing?
Yeah, the Carlisle Hotel. I think it was on Prime. It was fabulous. It was just so fun to watch.
I'll put a little thumbnail up for it.
Yeah, and we just sat here eating popcorn and watching our Carlisle show. We were completely happy. And John, today you asked me, well, are these comfortable enough to sit here?
They seem to be.
They're pretty comfortable. I mean, we were just fine eating our popcorn here. So yeah, so I think it's great. And then one other thing, lest you guys are having a heart attack, that we have lit candles by this arrangement of dried hydrangeas. No, we do not. These are just faux candles because it went viral, I think.
It did. But I also think it's funny about these hydrangeas because not just you and I have them, but we keep pulling them out. I put mine away for Christmas. We pulled them out in January, put them in another spot, did a different thing. So we really should follow the life of these
Of
dried
these hydrangeas.
hydrangeas where they go, because they do get thrown away finally.
They
and
finally
then we
get
start
thrown
over.
away,
But here they still are.
And some of them, especially these Terra hydrangeas.
She has some from the fairy tale house that I used to knock around.
I can't bear to
I
throw them
recognize
away.
them.
They're the ones that are in my bedroom.
Okay.
But when
Well-
I put this arrangement here in front of that painting, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's
It's
glorious.
great. It is. They're great. And I don't know if you did, but over this course of the last year when I started cutting them again, but I kept adding to it.
I
So
did
there are
too.
different versions of dryness in there. It
Yeah.
can still all go up like a tinderbox, though, I think,
Yes,
at this point.
yes,
So
yes.
do be careful.
Yeah, do
But,
not smoke.
Do not smoke.
Not that anybody
No
smokes
flame,
here,
right.
but do not smoke around them. The other thing is Stuart is magnetized to them, and so he's.
I'm gonna knock them apart. It's
Yeah,
my-
he doesn't pardon it. They lose some of
Oh, of
their.
course,
They
yeah.
lose some of their pills, then you just stick another
stick
one
them
in
back.
there.
They're always
what you
where
mean.
I'm backing up when I'm trying to get a shot. That's what's always behind
Well,
me.
our
is dry
kitties like to brush
hydrangeas.
their faces up against them. And of course,
probably feels
they
good.
fall off,
Yeah,
It's
and
fine.
you just stick another one in there,
put more in.
and I hate to I almost can't bear to throw them away, but eventually
I will throw mine away.
But
Start
eventually
everywhere.
they do get dirty enough, and that's,
Stuart knocks enough of them off.
Well, okay, so here's the deal though. I typically don't throw them away until I've already got them growing
right, no,
again
absolutely.
outside because
Yeah.
I'm too insecure to do that.
No, I won't do that either.
Yeah,
No,
so as soon as I know I've got a second crop coming, then
Yes.
I will be happy to relinquish.
And then it's just they're so different again because they're alive
Yeah.
again, and the green, and so fresh. So I'm looking forward to that actually.
yeah, I am too. I'm really into ferns right now.
Yes, you are. You've gotten some good ones recently.
Yes, and I mistakenly, when I was showing them in a past video, I kept wanting to call them bird's nest ferns because of your affection for bird's nest ferns and the one you have, and these are rabbit foot
right.
ferns, and they're beautiful. And I was so successful with one that I got a couple more of them, and they're much easier than I would have thought.
Good. Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to look for one.
they've really been happy. Okay, so when we come back, you're going to see what I whipped up for John and myself for lunch. Very, very easy. I made sure to ask John if he liked. Okay, so John Turman, you know John, and my friend Deborah are here, and we're going to have lunch. Say hi, you guys. They're in there visiting. Say hi, you guys. Hello. And I am making something that I make all of the time. And I love this because I don't have to have a recipe. And Hubs loves it. And it is just a Greek pasta salad. Now you can use any kind of pasta. I like something that will really hold the feta cheese. In this case, I've got some of this. What is this? This is rigatoni, but you can use almost anything, and I have used almost anything. And I have just cooked this al dente, and I have put, and again, this is all free form, you guys. It's all to taste. So I've got some good quality olive oil on here, and then
I love that olive oil dispenser, or whatever they call that.
Yeah, this is great. And I'll see if I can find the link. I'm not really sure where I put it or where I got it. Yeah, I think I may have gotten it at Bed Bath & Beyond. And then I also have the matching red wine vinegar. So this is, I will add more later. This is just so it kind of starts moving around and isn't clumped together. And always, this is my question of the day, when you start making something like this, do you always think, oh, I have used a bowl that is too small? So anyhow, I've got that going. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of spice. So I'm going to add just a little bit of thyme, and obviously if it was growing season, I would add fresh thyme. So that's probably just half a teaspoon of thyme. I love dill, and this is so much better when it has fresh dill, but I don't. This is dried from last season. I dried it myself. And I love dill, so if you really love it, add more. If you don't, add less. And let's see, I've got to open this. And also, if I had fresh parsley, I would definitely put fresh parsley in here. Okay, now if I had fresh parsley, if I had fresh mint, and as I said earlier, if I had fresh dill, I would put that in there. I am going to put some dried, and obviously fresh oregano too. I'm going to put a little bit of oregano in here.
Boy, that's bright
Not
green.
too heavy on the oregano. It's pretty though, isn't it? Okay, and then I am going to add, let's see. And by the way, you guys, I keep,
Oh, look at the organization.
yes, so organized that I almost couldn't find it. But I keep my spices in my drawer. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And again, I can add more of this later. But look, it looks pretty just like this. And actually, you could eat it just like this.
Oil noodles is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and Parmesan cheese, freshly grated Parmesan cheese.
Basic
Okay.
goodness.
Okay. Now, something else that I am definitely going to add. Let me get this open. And then something that I sometimes add and sometimes I don't add are artichoke hearts. But they have a really creamy texture to them. And if you ask me, this whole composition is kind of all about texture. So I'm going to add some of these.
They seem perfect for this.
Yeah, they are perfect for this. And you could really kind of chop them up, but I kind of like to leave them in big chunks, almost as if they are like the chicken that I'm going to put in there, so that it's more like a composed salad.
You could kind of use the artichokes as like a chicken substitute.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, you definitely. This could be vegetarian. I mean, you guys, you probably done this 1,000 times. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. This is a case of, you guys just do it the way you want to do it. A lot of times, I will just put in whatever I happen to have in the fridge.
On our cooking show, we don't teach you how to cook.
I am like Jennifer Gardner. This is a pretend cooking show. Now, some people do not like this in their salad, but I do because I want a little bit of crunch, and that is some cucumbers. Well, I mean, just know your guests. The other thing is, I could have seeded these, but why?
Because it's such a mild
But
seed.
why? So I'm not going to seed them. I am just going to throw them in here, probably because they may add excess moisture if you want to avoid that.
Oh, I think those are like 85% water is what a cucumber is, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of water.
Yeah, probably. Okay, that may be another question of the day. You guys tell us. So I've got some red onion here, and you could probably use green onion, you could use white onion, you could use whatever you wanted, but I am going to use some red onion.
Colorful.
Yes, because that's exactly it, Stuart. We want a little bit of color, and I like the crunch of it. Now again, I could put this in strips, but I kind of like to divide it up a little bit. I don't like it to be too small though. I really like it to look, what's that Ina Garten says? She likes some things to look like what it really is. Yeah.
I get that.
I think that looks very, very
Change
pretty.
things.
Yeah. Okay, now, and right here is where I'm gonna.
It's smelling good.
It is smelling good. I'm gonna switch utensils here so that I will not have that problem of my pasta. I can hear you guys out there saying, Linda, use something different besides a fork, and that won't capture the pasta on the fork each time. Okay, so now I have Kalamata olives in my refrigerator all the time, just all the time, because we eat them so frequently. Stuart, by the time everybody sees this, they will have seen our thrifting video. And my thrifting video, it will show how I love olives and to gift them in an olive dish.
And some of you might not know exists.
Okay, yeah, may not know it
There
exists.
are olive dishes.
So if you haven't watched the thrifting video yet, go back and watch the olive dish, because this would be another thing to have kind of on the side. I could have that olive dish on the side with more olives.
Go to the, what is it, Whole Foods olive bar? You could fill an olive
Yeah.
dish with the
Okay.
amazing olives.
Okay, it tastes good. It needs more punch though. It definitely needs more punch. And that punch is also going to come from my feta cheese. I'm going to wash my hands here. And feta cheese is also one of those things that we absolutely adore. A lot of times as an hors d'oeuvre, I like to use it just a block of feta cheese with olives, with some pita crackers, with some hummus, then with some crudités. Now, doesn't that smell good?
Yeah, it smelled good for a while now.
Yeah, it has smelled pretty good for a while now. And you just add as much. And sometimes when I serve this then and plate it up, I'll just also put another just wedge of feta cheese on the side in case people want more. Now, some people, and when I look at some recipes, they will include things like green pepper, red pepper, tomatoes, and you could, and sometimes I'll put tomatoes in here, but right now the tomatoes aren't great, and so I'm not going to do that.
I don't know why spinach leaf stands out to me. Spinach.
Yeah, actually, I have done it with spinach in it. I have done it with,
Raw spinach leaf.
yeah, I have done it even with some kale. I'm about out of my red wine vinegar. I would also put basil in here if I had
Ooh,
some
yeah,
fresh
that's good.
basil.
Which you usually do.
Now, something else that I sometimes do is I'll add a little bit of the olive
thought you were gonna do that
juice.
earlier.
Yeah, I'll add a little bit of the olive juice.
Now it's a dirty martini.
Now it's a dirty Greek pasta salad. And this is the thing, all of the goodies sometimes fall to the bottom. I think we need a few more olives. This is the kind of relaxed entertaining that I like to do. That way I don't feel like I have to have everything ready before they get here. And then, you know, I was able to ask John, do you like Greek pasta salad? He said, I like anything. So I am free to continue. So that's it, you guys. This isn't anything fancy. I'll add the chicken a little bit later. Sometimes I'll add it to it. Sometimes I'll put the chicken on the side. I cooked this earlier in the oven. It is moist, it is chewy, it is tender, and then I have pita bread. I have a little bit of hummus in the refrigerator that I might serve with it. And then for dessert, we're going to have some sorbet and maybe a little, I've got some kind of little crackers, some kind of little delicate sweet cracker type things. So there you go, a Greek pasta salad for lunch.